like he's been labeled as being paranoid. He's not paranoid. Uh, he might be hallucinating. Okay. Now you remember when we were small, we used to play games wherein there are certain words wherein you jumble the letters in the middle, but you keep the first and the last letter, and you still recognize what the word is. Okay. Like if you get a walker, if you see the leg of the walker, you know it's a walker. Okay. In his case, he's lost his eyesight. Okay. So even if he sees a little of something, reminds him of something. So there's a problem with processing with what he's seeing and what his brain is seeing. So the brain, the center of the brain, at the back of the brain, the occipital lobe, it's getting a little pieces of pictures, but it goes back to his memory. See, his senses are very heightened. He's blind, so his senses are very heightened. So even if he sees a small part of something, his brain might interpret it as something else, different from what he's seeing. And with his memory, because of his age, with his memory, he's lacking the filter to tell him whether what he's seeing is something that's in the real world or whether it's present. Because sometimes when he sees a small part of something, it might remind him of something that he saw in a movie or from years ago. But he's not able to process, to let himself know that that cannot be. That's from the past. That's from 20 years ago. It's not possible that it's here now. So when he sees that, there's a disconnect in the brain. So he gets frustrated. He gets anxious. Okay? So right now his senses are heightened, and more importantly, it's his animal instinct that's coming into play. It's like he's trying to survive. Okay? So the worst thing to do to him is to argue with him. Okay? At the same time, you don't want to minimalize also what he's seeing, what he's saying. So the best way to deal with him is to calm him down, remind him, reassure him that it is safe, that he's okay. And don't, let's say if he sees that there's a horse, don't try to say, there's no horse, I don't see any. Because he might have seen something, which a part of something which he might think in his brain that there's really a horse in front of him. So there's some degree of hallucination, but it's not paranoia. Okay? You just need to get him to calm down, sit down, take in deep breaths, and explain to him slowly, gently, that your mind is playing games on you again. We're not seeing a horse. You might have saw something that reminded you of a horse. You need to listen to him, and you need to talk to him instead of just brushing it away. You understand what I'm saying?
I do, but when he gets to the point where he's really anxious and it seems
Yeah,
like he's
there's
gonna
no.
get physical with you.
Don't fight him.
Right, no, absolutely not. But how do we
That's why you don't let it get
approach
out of
him in
hand.
that situation?
When he's already very anxious, very agitated, okay, already getting belligerent, just have him sit down. Or if you can put him back in his bed, let him lie down. Okay? Give him rest.
Okay.
So what he needs is rest time.
Okay, well, a scenario, say he's out in the hallway and he's agitated and he's banging on doors and whatnot. We can't get him to, how are we going to get him to sit down? There's not, I mean,
Get a chair.
just
Get help.
Any kind of chair, just bring it out
Get
in the hallway, have him sit down in the hallway.
Yeah. Get help. Don't deal with it yourself alone. Get help, and then talk in a low voice, in a soft tone. Get somebody to help you. Get a chair. Have him sit down. Okay, because when they're up, their guard is up.
Yeah.
But when you sit them down or lay them down, then their guard goes away. Then it's easier to handle. Because the worst thing to do is to put him on medications and fog his brain even more. Because then he's gonna start falling, breaking a hip. Okay? So right now, and it gets worse as the day darkens. Because all the more he doesn't see well. So what he's seeing is just something like a fog. So he's just trying to pick up information from what he's seeing and try to figure out what is in front of him. And then there's that disconnect. That, but he's not able to realize that. Subconsciously, he knows that there's a disconnect. That's why he gets agitated. So he's the one person you want to give him time. Okay? Anything else?
And if in doubt, if you won't calm down, say, well, Dr. Lou said,
Mhm.
because this guy is somebody that he listens to, and I know how hard it is when he gets worked up to get him to the point where, you know, it's penetrating. But
Yeah, just tell him I said, or don't hesitate to call me. I live nearby.
If we
If
get
I
to
can-
the point where we can't calm him down, we can call you.
Yeah, call me.
Okay.
and I'm half a mile away too.
Okay.
I got called last time, so it was good.
Okay?
All right. Thank you, Dr. Lou.
All right.
Thank
All
you.
right.